Hey guys, today I'm going to be sharing a review of my fifth graders' independent subjects. These are not our group subjects that we do as a family. This is just what she did for fifth grade that were specific to her. Our family subjects are like history and Bible and things like that, and we do those, and I'll share those in a separate video, but I'm just sharing what she did specifically for her grade. So first we have language arts. We have English 5. This is from BJU Press. I have done a review on multiple reviews on BJU Press, language arts. This is her third year using BJU Press, and she does enjoy it, but I think she is looking for something a little bit different. This is a very thorough program. It's grammar and it's writing all together, so it alternates between a grammar chapter and a writing chapter, and sometimes they do a couple grammar chapters in a row and then they'll do a writing chapter. So what they do is like they always, for each lesson, they will always give a summary of what the lesson was about with some examples, and then they will have practice on the front and practice questions on the back, and that will be one lesson. It will always just be a front and the back, and it will always have a summary of what the lesson is about. So she does this pretty independently on her own. She will just look, read it. If there's any questions, she will ask me. She's not always the best about asking questions, so sometimes try to like power through, and I'm like, no, just ask me questions so you know how to do it right the first time. They'll always have a practice lesson at the end of the chapter to just kind of go over what all they have learned, and then they will have a review, chapter 3 review, and then there will be a journal page to do. I don't ever make her do that because she does writing. They do have writing in here, and so I don't necessarily make her do that, but you know, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. And then there's always a cumulative review. So the chapter review just reviews what's in the chapter. The cumulative is what they have learned so far, and that's always a front or a back. So they do have tests that you can do. But if you just want to get the book, save yourself some money, you can use these cumulative reviews as a test if you want to. I don't like grade them formally and give her a percentage or anything like that, but I do make sure she knows what's going on. And then they will do a writing chapter, writing a book review. So they will have an entire chapter on that as well. They go through pretty thoroughly parts of a book review. So this is an example of like what a fifth grader's book review would look like. And so it kind of gives you a guide like, okay, so it shouldn't be 3 sentences, but it also doesn't need to be a 10-page report or anything like that. And so it goes through evaluating a book. They give you a checklist so that you can make sure you have it all. And then here's your book review plan. If you're a little bit nervous about teaching writing, I really recommend BJU Press for their elementary for their writing because it just makes it so easy to follow. There's no guesswork. So she did the same thing herself. The introduction, the summary paragraph, the opinion paragraph, and then revision again. So like what are some things that you might need to revise. And then they have a revising checklist for you so you can look through and make sure. They have a proofreading checklist as well, and then presenting your book review. So they encourage you to do it in front of like your family, or they say the class, but family or friends or whatever. And then there's a reflection. What did you learn or anything like that? I don't make her do that. And then again, a cumulative review, front and back, and then it goes on to the next. So I really recommend this. I really enjoy it. I believe I have a video on this fifth grade. If I don't, I will be, and I for sure will be doing a video comparing this to The Good and the Beautiful. So keep an eye out for that. Next we have a reading from BJU Press. This is reading 4. She started it in 4th grade, but it was just a little too much at the beginning of the year. I just saw a cat outside my window. Scared me, came out of nowhere. And so the activity sheets go along with this. It's done really well. I have again a whole video on this if you want to see the inside and what this looks like. You can check that out. I'll leave it below. It's done really well. She enjoyed it. It did get a little not redundant at the end, but you can see it's like just such a huge book. So she did it the last half of 4th grade. Yeah, and then 5th grade. And so she was kind of like ready for it to be done because she had worked on it for like a solid year, not just a school year, but like a full year. If you're looking for literature for your elementary, this is all in one. It's just done really well. I enjoyed this, and I think if that's something that you're looking for, you might want to look into BJU Press, their reading program. And then towards the second half of the school year, she saw my daughter, my older daughter, we do Sunlight History, and so she has assigned readers that are historical fiction that correspond with the time frame that we are reading about. And so she saw my older daughter doing that all year, and she was like, can you give me books to read that are like, that are similar? So I started doing that. So I assigned her Prairie Lotus. So this again, we were in the middle of the school year. So our history this year was from the Civil War onward to modern American history. And so this is like around the 1880s, 1890s, something like that. So this is Prairie Lotus. Then she did Grandpa's Mountain. This takes place during the Great Depression. She read this one. She said it was really good. She liked all of them, by the way, just for that. Number of the Stars she read. She is now reading Summer of Sundays. She's like, Mom, this isn't a history book. I was like, I know, but it's a little bit more modern. And so I gave it to her thinking it might last the end of the year, but she's almost finished with this. So I'm going to add one more because again, we're nearing those modern days in history. We're almost up to current time. So this is Lawn Boy. So she's going to read this one.
I forgot one. She also read The Year of Miss Agnes, which takes place in 1940s Alaska.
And so those are on top of other reading that she does personally on her own. These were some historical fictions that she read as well this year, the second half of the year. Next, we have spelling. She did spelling from BJU Press. It's very traditional. It's 32 lists. It's going to have, for example, words, word patterns, some review words from the last couple weeks, and then a word sort, word study. There's always 4 pages of activity, so you could do it for a full week. Proofreading, and then dictionary skills. So she does a couple of the exercises. She doesn't do them all every week. She does a couple of them, she reviews them, and then Friday I have her do the spelling test. She really likes spelling and traditional spelling and taking spelling tests and things like that. Next, we have handwriting from The Good and the Beautiful. This is level 6. My child has done most of the levels from The Good and the Beautiful. Last year, she did Danielian handwriting because she just wanted to try something different and she didn't really like it at all. So she wanted to go back to The Good and the Beautiful. This made one of her top curriculum for the year, but she also said she doesn't like the pages where she has to write the long poems in cursive. So, I guess you give and take a little bit. But what we always like about it is that there's at the bottom, there's always some sort of art to do. So either draw or like she had to color in this. She doesn't always do the art because she's not really my artsy person, but she'll do it sometimes. And of course I don't make her, but this is all cursive. So they'll just have different quotes and writing words like different Bible verses. She had to do the months of the year, writing what a pronoun is, just different things like that. They vary it up so it's not all the same. And then sometimes it's a little bit longer too, as you can see here. Next is Wordly Wise level 5. She does not like this. And I told her, I was like, I don't know if you're gonna like this, but she's like, no, I'm gonna do it. So she did Wordly Wise level 4 last year. And then there's a big leap from level 4 to level 5. And so what she doesn't like is that at the very end of of every chapter, there's a big comprehension page that you have to read. It's not a big page, it's just a page and a half. And then you have to do, there's 15 questions that every single vocabulary word that you have for the week, there's 15 of them, has to be used in each question. Now, some of the questions have the vocabulary word in them, some of them don't. And what you have to do on the ones that don't have the vocabulary word is figure out not only what the answer is, but what vocabulary word do they want me to use in the answer? So it can be a little bit tricky. So she doesn't love that, but there's different other exercises as well. So it gives vocabulary words, it gives the definition, it gives obviously it gives the definition, it gives the parts of speech, it uses it in a sentence. If there's multiple parts of speech, it explains what it is that way. So there's 15, and then there's just different exercises per lesson. I believe there's 20 lessons. So if you did one a week, it would take you less than a year to do it, less than a school year to do it. So they have like making connections. There could be 1, 2, 3, or all 4 letters that make sense in here. So it's not as straightforward as it seems. Sometimes they have 1 or 2 words that it's the right answer, or 3 or 4. So they have to choose, not process of elimination, but really understanding the vocabulary words. So I think this is done pretty thoroughly. Again, she doesn't love it, but that's just personal preference. I have a daughter, my other daughter loves it. So if you're looking for a vocabulary and you want something thorough for your child, I think this is a good recommendation. I realize we have not talked about math, and she's doing level 5 of teaching textbooks. She's almost finished with that. I think it's going pretty well. She's not the biggest lover of math, so I don't think she's gonna love necessarily any math course, but I think it does a pretty good job of, she's learning math. So really at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for. So teaching textbooks is online. The lesson is online, the questions are online, they grade it for you. So it's very hands-off for the parent. Of course, if there's any questions or anything like that, you're there to answer. But for the most part, they are doing it themselves. There's the teaching and everything, the instruction. They even show you, like, if there's something, if you got it wrong, it shows you the answer and how to get the answer rather than just the answer. How did we get there? And it will give you hints and things like that. So there's about 20, 25 questions per lesson, plus some practice problems, maybe 5 or 6 practice problems. So it's not too overwhelming. It's a good pace. So she's doing well with that. And then lastly, we have science. Now this is from, I keep wanting to say Master Books because Master Books does sell these. These are from God's Design, Answers in Genesis rather. We have properties of matter and properties of ecosystems. Now she is doing these with co-op. So co-op just, said get these books. And so one semester she did this one semester she did this one. And these are okay. I don't know. I'm not doing the course with her, so I don't have a whole lot of hands-on experience. I mean, I help her when she needs help or has questions or things like that. But the chapters are very short and sweet. So like here is a chapter. It's on air, the importance of oxygen. What did we learn? So some questions here. Fractional distillation. So it's talking about that. And then that's the end of the chapter. Chapter 21 is here, here, and here. So they're very, very short chapters. In here at the very end. So they're 3 to 4 pages. I don't know if they have any corresponding worksheets or anything that go along with it. This is all we were required to get. Now her co-op does give her worksheets to go along with these, like comprehension and things like that, so she can know. And then every single week when she goes there, she's doing different activities and different experiments that correspond with the chapters. And then they give her quizzes and things. But I think that that's something that the teachers get or make or whatever. I feel like this would be really good if you have a child who you feel like maybe they're not a huge science lover and they need things that are short and sweet and to the point. These chapters are very short. They don't seem to be too experiment heavy, and so if they need to do it independently, this would probably be a very good recommendation. They have motions and machines, heat and energy, plants, the human body. There's all different types here. So I believe, again, they sell these on Master Books. There's a third one too. They'll come together and it's 3 books in one, or you can just get them individually. So that is all of her schoolwork, and then her extra things that she did for activities and things. She played basketball this winter. It was her first year. She did that, and then she is taking piano lessons with my mom. My mom comes over once a week. She's played piano for years and she gives them lessons. And then she is finishing up with Awana. Awana is a Bible club where they memorize verses and have a Bible story and play games and things like that. So she does that once a week, and then doing our co-op as well. And so for co-op, her elective was doing not only science, that was her course, but her elective was doing art this year. So she did art, and she's made some really, really cool projects, and her art teacher does an amazing job of she's not my art person. She doesn't really love art, but she's done really, really well with these art projects, and her art teacher is doing such a great job. So she has enjoyed that. And so that is our year. It's coming to a close. I can't believe it. And we're on to next year already, planning for next year. So if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more homeschooling videos. And if there's any questions, please leave them down below in the comments. and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.